afternoon, YouTube. This is Real Life Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing the Intex solar pool cover. Let's review it. Basically, we're going to talk about the description and what it does and what the final outcome is. This is the description. It is a round piece of 3/16 bubble wrap. It's dyed blue because a lot of people think the color of water is blue. It's about 4 mils thick. It's not very strong, but it does two very specific rolls. It has a flat side and a bubble side. You need to place the bubble side down. The first roll that it does is all those little bubbles act like tiny little magnifying glasses. It's an oculus effect. So if you take sunlight and you train that sunlight down to a fine bead, it tends to heat up. I know you probably burned worms when you were younger. Took a little magnifying glass and you drew that bead of sunlight in, made it a real fine point, you created heat. Well, multiply that little bead times about 10 million and that's what you get on an 18-foot pool. It does not go all the way to the bottom of the pool, but we're going to talk about what that does here in just a moment. The second thing it does is it insulates the pool from evaporation. It tends to lose a lot of heat during the night. But if you take this piece of plastic and you cover the pool, you don't lose any to evaporation and you retain that day's heat. Say the ambient temperature of the water is 86 degrees. If you don't lose any heat all night long, it's still 86 degrees in the morning, and then you put an oculus effect on top of that and you heat it up throughout the day, really make for some warm water. It obviously takes 3 or 4 days to notice any temperature change. 3 to 5 or 7 degree temperature change, you're gonna know it in the pool. 84 to 85 degrees is a little uncomfortable, but 86 to 87 degrees is rather comfortable. So I'm telling you, that's about where I want the water temperature to be. That's where it's just comfortable enough in the evening times, but it's still cool enough in the daytime after I get done mowing the yard or something like that. In the middle of a Mississippi summer, a nice cool dip, that's the right temperature I want it to be. Let me throw this note in. Your variables are going to be different than mine. My results may be a little different than yours because you're going to be geographically in a different area. You're going to have a higher or lower elevation. You may have higher or lower humidity, higher or lower temps. It may rain or be cloudy at your house. So your variables are going to be different than mine. But let me explain to you what my variables were. I had 2 days of rain and 3 days of sun. And every single day the temperature hovered between 83 and 87 degrees. Yesterday when I went to get into the pool, I kid you not, the pool water was 106 degrees. Oh my gosh.
What?
The water is 106 degrees. We've had an Intex hot tub. The water in the hot tub hovers at 104 degrees. And you should only be in that water for about 30 minutes before your body starts shutting down. Now, granted, it's a 48-inch deep pool. It's not 106 degrees all the way to the bottom. You lose about 3 or 4 degrees per inch as you go down. The top 2 to 3 inches of that water was around 106 degrees. Now, my little Fluke, my infrared thermometer, it's not a toy. It didn't come from Harbor Freight. I can dial this thing down to 100 thousandths of a decimal point to be very accurate in what I'm measuring. Right now I just have it set on 1/10. And I can tell you, after 1/10 on water that's 106 degrees, it doesn't matter after that. I ended up going to swim, and let me explain that when you take the top off, yes, water begins to rapidly change. And within 20 minutes, the top water was already down to about 90 degrees, and the remaining bottom of the water, as I measured it down low and came up top, the bottom water was still, at my feet, was still around 87 degrees. Does this pool cover work? Yeah, it really does, especially at the top of the water. The idea of this pool cover is not to keep it on your pool every day. It's to open your pool sooner and to have a longer swim season during the summer. I don't see us using this when it's 155 degrees outside with a humidity of 99.99%. I think the water may catch on fire at that point. It is a 5-star product because it has definitely, when people said they saw their temperatures come up 20 degrees, I said, there's no way. It's true. Now, this is the guy who has scientifically built a pool heater hack, running hoses all the way throughout the yard. You know, I had 200 feet of black water hose. I painted my hard pipes black. I wanted the water to get warm. Instead, this year I just bought this pool cover and was wanting to give it a try, and sure enough, it's amazing. I will tell you this, there are some reviewers out there that gave it a 1-star review, and they said when I got mine it had holes in it. Well, dear reviewer, if it didn't have holes in the top, when water got on it, it would sink to the bottom, or when your pumps ran, it would shove air underneath it and lift it clean off the top of the water. It has to have holes in it. They did that on purpose from the manufacturer. Please stop reviewing products if you think that's alright. If this is your first time seeing one of my reviews, that's what we do here on this channel. We review products, we do DIYs and cooks, things of that nature. And if you like this video, if you like things like reviews, then you're in the right place. I'd encourage you to click the subscribe button and turn that bell on for my weekly content. Until next week, be well. This is Real Life Reviews.